عشان تقدروا
أوكي.
تعملوا الريكوردينج. يلا تفضلوا.
أستاذ عارف تعال تبدأ أنت بالأول.
والله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين. أول شيء نشكر كل البارتيسيبانتس ونشكر الأستاذ خالد والأستاذة سالي على يعني على الدعوة دي وعلى هذه الندوة. نشكر الأستاذ بشير على تبنيه هذه الندوة المهمة جدا، شايف بالنسبة لكل السودانيين الجايين كإيميغرانتس لأمريكا، والأوريدي هي برضو يعني they can benefit from this lecture. يعني it's gonna be like a roadmap, and we're getting like too many questions about what we're gonna do when we arrive here and what يعني شنو الأشياء اللي ممكن نعملها. يعني there's a lot of people came before and it took them like forever to find the way to settle to do these things. يعني if you can find them like a good roadmap once they hit their feet to the ground and guide them to what they can do and what they can accomplish in this country, rather than يعني finding left and right and then after that they settle. So we can cut short all this الطرق الكثيرة اللي بتاخدوها يعني. ويكون يعني برضو إذا كان في الحضور في رول موديل يعني لأي نوع من القصص أو أي نوع من الخبرات الموجودة هنا في أمريكا to guide them out. this is the main idea إن شاء الله. فتحياتنا للجميع وتحياتنا للحضور الكريم، الجميع الحضور. والمايك نديه إن شاء الله للأستاذ بشير to guide us through إن شاء الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. شكرا أستاذ عارف. I'm going to speak in Arabic and English. I think we have a couple of people that only speak English, but they're okay with Arabic as well. So we'll mix it up a little bit. So first, I just want to say I want to thank Arif, by the way, for a lot of us that don't know him. He's the president of the Sudanese American Association in South Florida. He's the leader of the community, an amazing, very inspirational person, and we're very glad to collaborate with him and having him share us, you know, and kind of guide us through this session. So thank you so much on behalf of the Sudanese American Association of Florida, as well as yourself. There's a few questions that happen in the community and generally for a lot of us as immigrants. Is when we come to America, some of us face a lot of challenges, and I think that's what Saz Arif wants to tackle. Some of us don't even face the challenges. Some of us already have a package of excuses. We have an excuse, which is, hey, if you're born in America, like our kids, you can succeed. But people that are born in, you know, Somalia, Sudan, Saudi Arabia, there's no chance. If you studied high school in a different country, it's impossible. You know, because you're Muslim. As a Muslim, they target. There is no way you're going to succeed. You know, if you're over this age. So some of us already have packages to justify not trying and not transforming ourselves. We're very lucky to have two amazing people that I love and respect on a professional level and more on a personal level as well. Ustaz Khalid Khalafallah and Ustaz Sally Elatta, who actually their company's name has the word transformation in it. And I really love that because the word transformation basically inspires change. And I don't want to say too much, but I just want to say that there are people that really transform their lives. They didn't start in one set direction, they took different directions. When you hear their stories, you really, inshallah, you're going to be very, very inspired by their stories. And I just want to say, mashallah, tabarakallah, and all of us that we say, you know, God bless them and continue to bless them, mashallah, tabarakallah, for the great effort that they've done for the community, for the great things that they've done in their life. They've joined us so many times to inspire us. And when you hear their story, you know that they say this is the land of opportunity, but you have an opportunity. You have a chance to do great and beautiful things. And we wish you all the best. So without taking more time, Sally and Khalid, please go ahead. We're looking forward and very excited to see the great presentation that you guys have.
تسلموا شديد. Thank you so much, Farid, Arif, sorry, Farid, Bashir. Farid is on my mind, Bashir. Arif, very nice to have all of you guys here with us today. أنا سألت بشير قلت له, do you want me to go in English? Do you want me to go in Arabic? because we can go either way. Lakin it sounds like because we do have a few people that speak English, I think we're going to mix it up like Bashir said. So I'll maybe we'll do primarily English and then try to say some things in Arabic at the same time as well. So first of all, thank you for inviting us. We're really excited to be here with you and share our story, and certainly hope that it inspires some of you to, you know, if you're new, maybe think about what is it that you want to do and how can you have the courage to move forward with it, even if it's a big, bold dream. And if you've already lived here for a long time, sometimes even we get stuck, right? Even though you've been here for many years, you still got comfortable in whatever you're doing. And maybe you're thinking it's time to think outside of the box about what else is new for me, what else can I tackle? So I'm Sally, and I am here with my wonderful husband, Khalid.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. How are you guys doing? Well, we're so glad to have this session with you guys and just tell you a little bit about our story. It's just, it's been a very nice ride since we came to the States about 20 some years ago, maybe 30 now. But we were, you know, we're just, we started very small, you know, we just came in students. So I think our story is gonna resonate with you, you know, especially for those who are newly arrived, because we went through everything that you probably will go through, you know, in your life. So.
Wonderful. So before we get started, I always want to ask people just to engage with me. So I want to make sure the chat is working. So if all of you guys can jump in the chat and tell me, I'm going to ask you guys some questions and I just want you to answer. The first question I'm going to ask you is, how long have you lived in the United States? And are you employed or not employed? So basically, how many years have you lived in the United States? And if you're employed, are you working professionally or still, you know, just maybe doing your own business, self-employed? So if everybody can just answer years in the United States and then employment status and maybe what your profession is, that would be super helpful. It would help me understand who's in the audience. That will be the first question. يلا كلكم خشوا كده in the chat and let's see who's with us.
Do you guys know where the chat is at?
I found it.
So it's at the bottom. Looks like a text message.
There we go.
All right.
20 years working at Wells Fargo. Is that her name? Nice to meet you. Where did you work? US Bank.
US Bank. Well, it's first start, you know, it was bought by US Bank.
And then we've got Rihab. Welcome. Assalamu alaikum. Usman, سنتين. Living here for 2 years. مرحب بكم. Ibrahim, I'm Hala Ibrahim, 15 years working as a teacher in Florida. Mr. Abbas is 33 years, Uber for now. Muna is 20 years, accounting. Tamam. Aya is 2 years. Welcome, Aya. Very nice to have you. يلا يا إخوانا, this is like called group engagement. كل الناس تتراسل لأنه we're gonna هندخلكم كتير في الحتة بتاعت الشات دي. We have 14 years working as a sub teacher. Wonderful. Nice to have you. "11 years in the US working in 3M Zainab." Welcome. That's wonderful. And we know Zainab, we know her family. Okay, حلو شديد. طيب, I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. We'll get started. I'm going to share my screen. And then I'm going to continue to ask you. If you guys don't mind, if you're not speaking, can you put yourself on mute? لأنه في شوية صوت في background. There's a little bit of background noise coming from people that are not on mute. You guys hear it? سامعين الصوت ده?
Yeah, a background noise. Okay, can you mute? Can you mute as the host?
I don't know how to mute people. يمكن ناجي وعاطف ومنى. If you guys don't mind putting yourself on mute.
And Bashir too, right?
And Bashir is the culprit. Okay, tamam.
I think you are the host now, right? So maybe...
I'm the host, yeah. So let's see if you guys can see.
Hi.
Well, hello there. Hi, sweet girl. What's your name?
Granna.
Nice to meet you. بس لكن في شخشخة كده جاية من الحتة المكتوبة على ناجي علي. Sorry Naji, انت لما الصوت يجي من عندك I can see your name pop up. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, let's get started. And feel free, please, to post your questions in the chat or to just, we're going to pause frequently عشان ناخذ أسئلة ونسلم عليكم ونتونس مع بعض. عايزة حاجة تكون دردشة. I just want it to be like a regular conversation and not something too formal. Okay, so building your career, achieving your dreams. This is my beautiful family. Khalid Zoji, my daughter is Yara. She's 16 in a couple 15. Of months. 15 and like in 2 months she'll be going on 16, maybe even 18. And we have beautiful Sharif Noor. Sharif just turned 12 2 days ago, so he's really happy. And Noor is going to be turning 10 here. We are known for, in the United States, معروفين بحاجة اسمها Agile Transformation Incorporated. We started our business about 12 years ago. 2009. هنحكي لكم القصة of how we started the business in the middle of the recession. That's going to be a very interesting story. حوديكم لا من الأول طوالي لأنكم عايزين. I want you guys to hear how, when it was really scary time to start a business, that's when we decided to start our business. وتوكلنا على الله and we got it started. Alhamdulillah, it was the right decision. We have then changed the name of our company from Agile Transformation to Agility Health. And I can tell you a bit more. We're a software company now. We build software, which is called Agility Health, and we help organizations measure and assess their organizational performance, their agile adoption, their leadership. فيعني ركزنا شديد في الحتة بتاع التقييم.
How old is your dad?
How are teams working? How are leaders operating? And how can we improve and get better? Instead of just training people and being a consulting company and training, يعني غيرنا البزنس موديل حقتنا. قلنا السيرفيس بزنس اللي هو احنا دايما بس نكون بنشتغل وبيدفعوا لنا القروش حق الساعات حقتنا، لا لازم نغيرها ونعمل product. يلا النقطة دي مهمة شديد. This is a very important point that I want to share with you is in our journey of developing ourselves, that this decision to change من a service business to a product business, إنه بدل ما نكون بنبيع في وقتنا وفي السيرفيسز حقتنا إنه نبيع product، والproduct ده هو يجيب لنا دخل ويجيب لنا الدخل on a subscription basis، يعني يكون دخل annual software. فدي برضو كانت بالنسبة لنا. وبرضو البزنس اللي حيتكلم عليه خالد حق الريل استيت العقارات، ده كان decision مننا إنه عايزين نجيب لروحنا دخل ما هو عن طريق السيرفيسز أو الوقت، يعني إنه إحنا نشتغل يدونا ما هي. لازم يكون عندنا investments تانية بتجيب لنا دخل ما هي بس directly related to our hours of working. الحاجة الثانية الناس بيعرفوها هي agilevideos.com. للناس كلهم الحابين يعني يتعلموا agile. If you guys are interested in learning agile, agilevideos.com is available for all of you at no cost. When you log in, and I'm going to send that to Bashir. Bashir already has it. Lakin there's a promo code you use that's called Agile for Sudan. And if you use Agile for Sudan, you have unlimited access to watch all of the videos and learn about Agile. والحاجة الثانية الناس بيعرفوها عندنا Sudan Next Gen. Sudan Next Gen هي منظمة حقتنا لا ربحية، بديناها قبل سنتين. بدينا ليه خالد نتذكر؟ Why did we start it?
We just started right لما حصل فض الاعتصام, and then everyone was like really struggling to Sudan and things are not going right. I think the kickoff was when they shut off the internet and would try to help somehow to get internet back in Sudan. So from there we started helping, and we said, okay, let's just create this non-profit organization to help us Sudan, and we started it, and that's when we started.
Alhamdulillah, yani we've been doing a lot of work. It's never enough. We never stop. Khalid زهج مني من كنت ما بشتغل. I always am working for something related to Sudan, but it's been very fulfilling. It's been very fulfilling to feel like you can offer something beyond just us working and getting income for ourselves. What can we do to help our family back home and our country back home? So that's been a very fulfilling part. ففي الأول, I think we're going to present to you kind of a little bit of our story for the first maybe 15-20 minutes. And then after that, I really just want it to be conversational. I want to answer questions with you. I want Khalid to tell more. I want you guys to engage with us. فما حنعملها كلها lecture, but maybe at the beginning, I can just share with you a little bit about the guiding principles that we use to run our life. And one of them is be bold. Be bold. and it's actually, there's 3 of them: be bold, be real, and lead with love. So those are kind of the guiding principles that we follow. But the first one I would say is the most important, which is be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. I think a lot of us, when we come to the United States and when we're going anywhere in our life, yani, we all have dreams. Like, in slowly, yani, as the years go by, we find all of the reasons why we shouldn't follow that dream. And yani, Bashir called them excuses. Some of us call them impediments. Some of them call them الظروف حقتي. Lakin we try to find all of these reasons why that dream is too far for us to find and to have. My first recommendation, my first guidance for all of you لخارطة الطريق, is to really think about what is your dream. And I think even anchoring around that, like, what is it that you really want to do? And some people say, my dream is to be a millionaire. And I always hear people that tell me their dream in terms of how much money they want to make. Like, and I'm going to be honest with you, that's not how I've ever dreamt. يعني I've never thought, ما حصل خالد يوم سمعني قلت له والله خلينا نكون مليونيرين يعني نجيب يا رب المليون الأولى كيف يعني. We've never thought about it in terms of the money. We've really thought about it in terms of what value are we going to bring to the world? What impact are we going to make? شنو الحاجة اللي ممكن نعملها بطريقة كويسة شديد with such high quality that could really, it could be a bakery, it could be a business, it could be helping the youth somewhere, it could be a business. One of my friends here, she started a senior living, a nursing home, almost like she does in-care, in-home, what is it called? الناس اللي بيجوا, visiting nurses. Basically, they come to your house, they take care of you. That's her business. And that's what she's passionate about, is helping elderly. لكن الدريم دي and what sets your soul on fire, it needs to be more than just I want to make more money. It needs to be حاجة that is going to make a difference for other people, because I promise you the money will come if you do something that you love doing, that you're going to be very good at, and that you're really spending time being good at. The money will come. For that, do you want to say anything, Khalid, as well?
No, I just want to add, like, the money thing that we thought about is just how to be financially independent. You know, I don't want to wait. I mean, if you know, if I don't get paid for the next 2 weeks, am I gonna die? Am I gonna survive or not? So we just want to be financially independent. We never thought about, let's make so much money. You know, that wasn't the dream. The dream is like, let me be financially independent and do something that could benefit me and benefit others. So that's the point. So I don't want to say that don't even think about money at all, because we need it for life, but just be financially independent. That's the main
Absolutely. Part. I mean, you're not going to be able to do anything if you're not financially stable. And so really my point was just the big dream shouldn't be, I want to be a millionaire. Like that's not a very big inspiring dream. I mean, obviously everybody needs to have money. But in order for you, I don't know, I have met a lot of millionaires, and I've met a lot of successful people, and they're very passionate people, and they're very purpose driven. They always have a purpose of what they're trying to do in life. I promise you that. Yeah. And I'm not saying that some people don't become millionaires just by wanting to be millionaires. Like, that's kind of step number 1. So step number 2, there's a really wonderful book. ممكن تحضروه. You guys can even watch some videos that summarize this on YouTube. But it's called Positive Intelligence. And I always like to talk about this book because I believe as Sudanese, or from whatever country you come from, we are born with this negative Nelly in our brain. And it's the part of our brain that sabotages you, that pulls you back. And there's, like, believe it or not, there's 10 different, they call them saboteurs in your brain. بيوقفوا الزول من إنه يمشي لقدام، يعني بيحطموه. واحنا السودانيين عندنا الحاجه دي كثير شديد، يعني في الكالتشر السوداني، وعندنا هناك الناس بالذات الناس اللي عاشوا في السودان وجو هنا، فعندنا so many of those. So I'm gonna now share with you some of them، وبعدين عايزاكم في الchat as I'm discussing them، عايزاكم تقولوا like, you know, I have the judge, or I am the pleaser, or I do the victimhood. لأنه إحنا كلنا عندنا, we all have some of these. So I'm gonna describe them. Like, I want you guys in the chat to engage as I talk about them. The first one is called the judge. The judge ده الزول اللي أحياناً بيحكم على روحه شديد، قاسي شديد على روحه وقاسي على الناس. يعني دايماً عنده رأي. They always have an opinion of why something's not going to work, or that those people are not intelligent enough. I'm not intelligent enough. I'm not smart enough to go do that. Like, you know, what makes me qualified to go do that?
This is not for me. This is
not for me. This is for somebody else. Or judging other people's intentions. Man, I don't think that man really wants to help me. I think he has other intent. So الظن برضو is very judgmental. You know what I mean? I'm always judging what other people are capable of doing, not capable of doing, and I'm also judging their intent. But I'm also a judge for myself. يعني that also happens for me. لأنه أنا عندي يعني I have such strong opinions as a judge. I'm always strongly opinionated, but I kind of put that on myself and I put it on others. And so me constantly judging myself or judging others stops me and blocks me from moving forward. We also have the stickler. The stickler هو الزول has to do something a very specific way, their way. فبيقوموا they get stuck لأنه they're not flexible. الحاجة لازم تتعمل بطريقة معينة ولما تعمل بالطريقة دي they almost like خلاص lose their ability to get it done because they're almost like a perfectionist. فالحاجة لازم تتعمل بطريقة معينة ولما تعملت كده I can't move it forward. They become a stickler, for that also makes them pause. The pleaser. The pleaser is the person who doesn't want to do something based on how people feel. Doesn't want to get married because their family might not be ready for that and they want to support their family more. Doesn't want to get a job because maybe my husband wants me to stay home and I want to please him and I want to not have to do anything. Yani, you're making all of your decisions in life based on pleasing other people and not based on what's right for you, what's good for you. فدايما رضا الناس عن الزول ده يعني is the most important thing for them. فدايما يعني they find ways to not do something because of how is it going to impact other people. There's the hyperachiever. Hyperachiever this whole very aggressive and always wants to be number one and is used to being a high performer. وأبوه وأهله, maybe their family always made them always get A's everywhere. If they don't achieve and they don't succeed and they think they're going to fail, they don't even do something. لأنه they hate failure. Failure is not an option. بيحكموا على روحهم شديد وبيزعلوا وممكن يتحطموا. They can like completely fall apart if they're going to fail. So they are a hyperachiever, and that fear of failure or not doing something perfectly might also stop them from moving forward. I'm going to give you two more and then I just want to hear from you. Go ahead. Bashir, were you going to say something?
No, it wasn't me. It was someone else.
Oh, it wasn't you. Okay. حديكم ثاني اثنين and then I just want to hear from you guys. الثاني الرقم 5 is the victim. This one's a really good one. The victim ده الزول اللي always finding excuses for I don't have enough money, it's not the right time, I live in Sudan, الكهرباء بتقطع كتير, and I'm not saying these are not good excuses. I'm not saying that they're not valid. What I'm saying is a victim is somebody who lives in that for so long that their life, their situation, their financial, their marriage, their country, their skills, whatever it is, always holds them back for a very long time, for a very, very long time. They live in victimhood. And then the hyper-rational, this is my favorite because احنا السودانيين عندنا كتير, the over-analyzer. بسميه يعني analysis paralysis اللي هم الناس اللي بيقول لك أنا لازم أعمل research الحاجة دي. ممكن يقعدوا يعملوا research وanalyze ويفكر ويمخمخها كده ويقعد فيها سنة ولسه ما يبدأ. ولما يجي يبدأ تاني يحللها شوية and then have more meetings. Like they are so afraid of getting started and they're so analytical that they're gonna like overanalyze everything before they get started. So let me pause here and I'm curious to hear from you. From what I just shared, which ones do you resonate with? And all of us have some of these. And I'm a hyperachiever sometimes, you know. Khalid, into which one do you think sometimes you are? The stickler?
Pleaser. I think I'm a
pleaser. عندك stickler برضو يا خالد. حاجة بطريقة معينة كده يعني لازم تتعمل.
Yeah. It depends. يعني there is nothing as good or bad. It's a voice in your head that's always trying to put you in a different direction. You know. Trying to pull you back all the time. So don't be afraid to say I'm this or I'm that because it's not a bad thing. It's a reality.
It's the voice.
Yeah, it's the voice inside your head.
Yeah, وكلنا عندنا. يلا, who wants to share? Which ones do you see yourselves?
I think I'm hyperachiever also. If I started anything, I will try my best to be like perfect. يعني ما بتقبل أي نوع من الأشياء الكده ولا كده. يعني I can spend all night long to think about what it's gonna be for the next morning. يعني this is the way it is. Yeah. I think I don't know if this is right or wrong, but this is me برضو.
Thank you, Arif. Thank you for sharing. Others, and remember, you can chat. If you don't feel comfortable talking, feel free to also share in the chat which one resonated with you. اتفضلي يا منى. I see you raise your hand.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. Sorry.
I see somebody who raised their hand, Mona. Otherwise, the other person who just spoke can. Okay, Ibrahim. I think you just spoke.
Okay. I think I could say about myself that I had sacrificed a whole chunk of my life for the children. So I was just housewife, taking care of my 3 children, one after the other. So that took a whole chunk of my life. But after that, it turned around, and after 20-something years, I went back to school in order to, that's how I started in the US, to gain some kind of a degree to be able to go back to the workforce. And it worked.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. And it was a good investment, Yamuna. Yani you made that decision, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Is I want to invest the first part of my life raising my children and being a great mother, and then I want to focus on my career. So that's a wonderful, and I'm glad that you were able to get back into it. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
And that takes a lot of courage after 20 years or something just to go back, but you got it done. And I think a lot of people should be motivated with that, because I see a lot of people who say, you know what, khalas, and I'm getting old. I cannot go back to school again and learn something. You know, you cannot teach an old dog new tricks, as they say. You know, no, you can do so many things if you just put your mind into it.
You are right, Khalid. يعني أنا لما كنت بمشي الكلاس كانوا معي بيكونوا الناس في the 20s, early 20s. I was like too old, like the mommy. So, but it was all making a joke and fun. And at the same time, I had been given an example for my own kids to sit down with them and study. So it had been a challenge.
Thank you for sharing. Let's go to, it says Ibrahim, you've got your hand raised, but I think it was a woman that spoke. Tfadali.
Okay, sorry. Am I okay? Sorry. Yeah, this is Hala. How are you guys? Good?
Nice to meet you, Hala.
Alhamdulillah. How's everything, guys? Khalid and Sally. I know I remember I met you before with Bashir here.
Yeah.
I'm Arif's wife, okay? Anyways, I love perfection, and I'm just too positive about everything, you know? So, which is being too positive, I don't think it's a good thing, because, you know, when you meet a lot of negative people right around you, it irritates me sometimes. So I love perfection. When I do something, it has to be right. My husband, you know, he's the same, but he's just overdoing things, I guess.
He's the stickler. We call that.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my goodness. You're not gonna believe if he has something, he can be awake all night to get it done right.
That's great.
I don't
you know, honestly, yani, high quality work is great. Yani, and I'm very picky.
I know, but not that much, right? It affects your health.
Yeah, as long as it's not affecting your health and your life.
There you go.
Much for that.
Yeah, but I love perfection. I'm positive, alhamdulillah. Which is a good thing, I believe.
Let's go to Usman Abbas.
Thank you very much. Really, you cannot put yourself in one, but I found myself into stickler and hyperachiever. And but I try sometimes to excuse others, but I want stickler. I want things to be done as is it, and sometimes I found myself hyperachiever. I want to do this, and I want to do this. I want to complete this. I don't know. Sometimes you cannot put yourself in exact in this each of this one. I don't know. Is that?
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's. I mean, these are just.
Because it's percentage. Sometimes you will find yourself and in some and yeah.
And not in others. Yeah, exactly. I just wanted you guys to like think about what is holding me back and what makes me afraid of moving forward. And if you start to see that some of these things are holding you back, yani catch them very quickly and figure out what am I going to do to stop that negative voice in my head that's telling me that I can't do something. Yalla, I think what we're going to do now is also just share with you our quick story of how we started the company and what we've been doing. لما نحن بدينا الشركة دي, actually Khalid, why don't you take a little bit before that, لما انت جيت والكارير حقك انت كان شنو وكيف غيرته كذا مرة, يعني you changed it several times. I think that's an important story before we go into Agile.
Okay, sounds good. I think Sal is just trying to prove how old I am. She want to take me back before 2009. So my story that yani, I came directly from Sudan. Unlike Sally, I did not go to international schools, and you know, I did not learn English until I came to Sudan, until I came to the United States. And I think a lot of us that came from Sudan started like that. So I came just to go to college. طبعا, when you're coming from Sudan, you just want to be like either a doctor or an engineer. So I picked engineering. And I came with the mentality that I'm going to finish really quickly and then I'm going to go back to Sudan. I never intended to stay. That was not the plan. Like a lot of other people who come here, they just want to finish at that time and go back. So I went back for engineering, graduated, lived with my best roommate, Yusuf. His sister is here with us. I went to Iowa State.
How long did you guys live together?
I think almost 3.5 years.
Got it.
So we met in Cedar Rapids. I stayed with Bashir when I first came. Bashir was in Cedar Rapids. I stayed with him until the semester started. I remember Bashir used to help us with English. We took the first semester, if you give us any math problem, we're good. Math classes, physics are good. Just when it comes to like history and psychology and sociology, Bashir has to help us, you know. So anyway, so we started there. When I was in school, the programming was introduced to us in a class, and it's called Fortran. And I hated it. I got a C. You have to pass. I got a C in the class. All my classes were good except for this one, but I had to pass, so I got a C and I passed. So I graduated with a chemical engineering degree, started to look for a job. We were here in the Midwest. We don't have that many. I have to go to the East Coast or go to California or go to Texas, work for the refineries and all these kind of things. So I started to look and I couldn't. So Sally was like, why don't you try programming? So my head went to, you know,
Fortran.
To Fortran. I was like, no, this is not for me. The first thing that came to my mind, this is not for me. So anyway, so finally I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna do it. So I took a 3-month course and became a programmer, and I got my first job. It's like a dream comes true. So the one thing I learned from there is don't ever get stuck in one thing. Some people, they say, well, if I'm an engineer, I'm always going to be an engineer. That's it. You know, I cannot go and start again from the beginning. I'm not going to change my career just because I'm going to go and look some more. So honestly, that was the end of my chemical engineering. I've never used it in my career. I switched when I needed to switch, and I got my first job, and I was happy, and I took it. 2 years later, one day the manager came in and he said, Khalid, I want to talk to you in the office. And I went with him, and I felt something is not right. And he said, we are going to have to let you go. You and half of the team, I was in IT, half of the team were let go because the company was not doing financial. That was like my worst day in my life. I was like, I lost my job and I'm a husband now. How am I going to support for my family? What am I going to do? So, but luckily I was part of that group that were getting laid off. And I will tell you why I say luckily later. That really pushed me to do something different again. So Sally and I started doing real estate. I'm going to take you back a little bit. We started real estate like 1 year before I was laid off. And it was just a side job. And that was the perfect combination because I still have my salary coming in from my job, but on the weekends, on the evening, we're trying to do something new. So it was like a side job that we started. And it wasn't very lucrative. We just bought one house here and there, and it wasn't very lucrative at the time. But when I was laid off, I
remember we went through some courses before we started.
Yes, we did. We learned some real estate at the beginning.
Besides that, I want to just pause for this one moment because we didn't know how to do real estate. يعني كلكم, you're probably thinking right now, oh, كانوا مدرسين, that's probably they had money, that's why they did real estate. No, we didn't know.
We started with zero.
ما كان في قروش يعني نعمل بها real estate. لكن دخلنا كورسات. الكورسات كانت بتعلمنا how do you buy a house with no money down, and how do you take over somebody else's mortgage, and it was very creative. دخلنا تعلمنا ونفذنا. Like whatever they told us, we went and did, and that's how we bought our first houses.
But we were bold enough. Bold, I was talking about earlier. We were very bold to go in and talk to someone who wants to sell their house and tell them, give me the title of your house and I'm not going to pay you anything. I'm going to pay you later.
Yeah.
So we were bold to do that. And a lot of people said, no, I'm not going to do that, but thank you for coming. You know, and some people who really want to sell their houses, they did. And we did pay them at the end, and we made money out of that. So anyway, so that was just a part-time. But then when I was laid off, I decided I'm going to do this full-time. So we started, you know, really doing real estate full-time. And it just got better from there. At one point, we were buying 20, 30 houses a year. We were just flipping, you know, buying, fixing a little bit, you know, sell. Sometimes we don't even fix it, you know, because we were always looking for good deals, and then you buy it and you sell it in a week for like an additional $5,000. So we started flipping so many houses on real estate, and we still have some of these properties left. So never get stuck with one thing. You know, if you are an engineer, or if you are anything and you felt like you want to change is good. Go ahead, do it. Try something different. Don't be afraid of changing, because you never know what, you know, if that's going to be better for you or not, unless you actually try it. But if you sit down just contemplating and just say, yeah, I don't want to do this, but it's not for me, you may waste a year or two and not do anything. So we continued real estate until 2009 came, when we decided to do another business on top of the real estate, and that's when Agile Transformation was created. So,
and I can tell that story. I'm hearing a little bit of background noise from, I think, Asha. Asha, if you can put yourself on mute. Asha and Ishraqa, if you guys don't mind. All right, I'm going to mute because I'm the host. I can mute Asha. Yes, I just muted. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you the story of the Agile Transformation. Yalla, Agile Transformation. This was really interesting. كانت 2009. My daughter Yara كان عمرها اتولدت في 2005. كان عمرها 3 سنين. 3 ولا 4 سنين. وأنا كنت حامل بالشريف. And I had another baby on the way. So my first daughter was only 3 or 4 years old, and I was pregnant. And it was in the middle of the Great Recession, and Obama was the president, but everything was falling apart. You know, companies were laying off people.
I'm sorry, Sally. I'm sorry, but some people are saying if you can just speak in Arabic for some of the parts, please.
Oh, sure.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, thank you.
تمام. فأنا في 2009 دي يعني زي ما قلت لكم القصة كلها كانت بايظة خالص في الايكونومي، وكنت حامل وبنتي تاني عمرها 3 سنين ونص. بقول لكم في القصة دي because يعني كان ممكن تكون perfect time إنه أنا يكون عندي excuses كثيرة جدا إنه أنا ما أخلي وظيفتي. يعني أنا ما كان في layoff، ما طلعوني من الشركة. أنا كان عندي وظيفة، وكنت وظيفتي كانت وظيفة كويسة شديد. كنت vice president في شركة هنا، وكنت صغيرة يعني as a vice president. فمفروض أكون very happy بالوظيفة حقتي دي. لكن كنا مشينا الحج مذكر إيه خالد، وجينا راجعين وحسينا كان عندنا إحساس قوي شديد. We just had this strong feeling إنه it's time for us to do something different. لازم نغير الحتة حقتنا. وأنا قلت أنا ما مرتاحة، وأنا حاسة إنه I can do this on my own. وتناقشنا في إنه لكن الموضوع حسي ما بينفع، والحكومة والناس يمكن are laying off people. لكن جاني يقين في قلبي إنه the fact إنه all of the companies were laying off people والإيكونومي كانت ماشية ما كويس. They're still gonna need agile، اللي هي ده المجال حقي، التخصص حقي اسمه agile. طيب agile ده هو شنو؟ agile ده هو تطوير لطريقة الفريق إنه يشتغل كيف ينجز المشاريع حقته. الشركات الكبيرة كلها حسا دي لما بتشتغل في المشاريع حقتهم بيستخدموا طرق قديمة شديد وطرق صراحة بطيئة جدا، فبتلقوهم بيصرفوا ملايين الدولارات وبيضيعوها احيانا، والشغل ما بيخلص on time، والتيم ما بيتكلم مع بعض كويس، والكاستمر بيكون في الاخر زهجان، وبيقضوا وقت كتير في الريكوايرمنتس جاذرينج والديزاين، لكن ما بيعملوا امبلمنتيشن وما بياخذوا فيدباك. فالاجايل اللي هي المنهجيه اللي احنا متخصصين فيها بتنمي الطريقه حقت الشغل الجماعي ده والشغل حق الاتيام والبروجكت مانجمنت، وبتطور الاداء حقهم وبتخليهم to be high performing team. So this was our specialty. So that's why we basically, I said, you know what, I'm betting on that. I know it's a risk, لكن I have the right gut feel and I'm just betting إنه أنا أصلاً كل الطالبة وحاسة من الله إنه في السنة الأولى دي to just make up my salary again. يعني I'm not trying to be a millionaire. أنا بس دايرة the money that I was making إنه أقدر أرجعها في السنة الأولى. فبدأنا الشركة والحمد لله يعني اشتغلنا and I was able to contact يعني customers واشتغلوا معنا وكذا. وفي الآخر فعلاً يعني for the first year هدفي الوحيد إنه was just to make the same amount money that I was making as a salary. بعد كده السنة الجاية هدفي كان إنه to bring on more people and to support and grow the company، والحمد لله حصل لنا 12 سنة. وخالد قام حول التغير حقه رقم 3. فخالد if you want to share the story دي إنك أنت طبعاً متذكر خالد بدأ بchemical engineering وقام دخل كورس ويتعلم programming وsoftware testing. صحيح خالد you became a tester. فاتعلم how to be a tester. وبعد كده دخل في الريل ستيت. وبعد كده لما انا بدأت الشركه حقت agile transformation دخلت فيه.
فلما بدينا الشركه سارة كانت very technical and she was like teaching classes. So basically she can teach a class every day. Starts from 8 and finish at 5 o'clock. So we got to a point, okay, so how are we going to invoice the you know for this work, you know. لا دارين زول يقعد to run الشركه، يعني لازم نرسل الانفويس حقتنا عشان الناس تدفع، ولازم نسجل الشركه تسجيل صح، ولازم تفايل التاكس حقتنا، ولازم نعمل ولازم نسوي. ولما تخش موضوع امبلويز كمان، الامبلويز دي كمان عندها حاجات ثانيه لازم الواحد يسويها. فانت قلت لسارة خلاص انا يعني حقلل من شغل الريل استيت شويه وحنشتغل فيه دي. فبقينا شغال يعني بالصباح شغال بس يعني الشغل بتاع زي ما بيقولوا الباك اند حق البزنس. ما كنت بمشي الاقي الكاستمرز ولا كده، لكن بس شغال بس في الاكاونتنج بارت اوف ذا بزنس. وده يعني all of a sudden اتعلمت حاجات كثيره من غير ما اشيل كلاسات، يعني تعلمتها براي، وكان معنا اكاونت مرات بيقول لي انت المفروض تعمل كده المفروض تسوي كده. فشويه شويه شويه يعني لقيت روحي انا دخلت في المجال ده من غير ما انا كنت داير اخش فيه يعني، لكن دخلت فيه في النهايه لانه دي حاجه حقتك انت لازم يعني تقدر تتابعها كويس. بقى عندي 2 فول تايم، يعني شغال بالصباح هنا والثاني عندي شغل ريل استيت يعني في النص. فكانت تشالنجينج، لكن شوي شوي الواحد يتعلم ومشيت كويس. فعملت ثاني كارير جديده يعني. اوكي you can continue.
So that's kind of يعني the beginning of our story. إنه يعني خالد I think يعني one of our lessons يعني I just always want to pause and just give you guys a lesson. اللسن اللي لكم خالد في الأول which is never get stuck in the primary career that you've had و be flexible إنه زول يغير المجال حقه. وتذكروا إنه العلم اللي أنتم بتاخدوه الناس اللي داخلين مع بشير the course the Salesforce course which I'm very proud of all of you. أو لو دخلتوا course بتاع you know testing, whatever course you go into, if you put your heart and soul into it and you work very hard especially في الانترفيو skills حقتكم you're gonna get a job إن شاء الله يعني بالذات في بلد زي دي. وفي حاجة يعني بشير دائما هو بركز عليها لكن أنا عايز أركز عليها أكثر كمان معاكم أقول لكم فيها إنه technical skills is not what lands you the job. It's your ability to present yourself. It's your interpersonal skills. It's your ability to smile لما تكونوا تتكلموا مع الناس الأمريكان يحسوا إن عندكم شخصية ظريفة. ability to work مع التيم، يعني إنكم شغالين مع التيم بطريقة كويسة. نخلي الحاجات اللي sometimes in السودان يعني عندنا روح المنافسة. I'm better than you, you're better than me, I compete with you. Exactly soft skills يا طارق. يعني I'm 100% sure إنه أنا معظم النجاح حقي is because I have very strong leadership and soft skills. I'm 100% sure. أنا عندي very technical, strong technical background. I'm a software developer, I'm an architect, I'm an expert at agile. لكن presence, ability to يعني to interact with people, to talk to them, to smile, to have great communication skills, تكون interested ذاته في الزول ده هو منو داير شنو، تشتغل كويس مع التيم ممبرز وما تعمل conflict وما تشاكلوا طوالي لا رأيي أنا صح رأيك أنت الغلط. الحاجات دي كلها is what creates conflict. this is what companies are looking for. والكلام ده أنا بقوله لكم from experience لأنه إحنا في شركتنا ذاتنا we hired من ناس بشير جبنا لنا 2 interns واحدة منهم لغاية حسي يعني أستاذة هند يعني شغالة معنا وحسي قريب ده يا بشير جبنا another intern and we just converted her برضو. ولما سألت ترنت الهايرنج مانجر حقنا أنا ما بضغط عليهم خالص، مالك أي دخل يعني، أنا بس I just asked them يعني if they can at least give them the interview لو عندنا position، وبعد كده التيم هم they're the ones that votes if they're gonna keep them، لأنه ما عايزة زول يحسوا إنه عشان هم السودانيين مثلاً أنا حيكون عندي لهم أي حاجة. No, they are just regular employees. فلما سألت ترنت قلت له I'm so happy يعني إنه ال internship program is working وكذا، قال لي سالي they're so positive. يعني قال لي التكنيكال سكيلز حقتهم they're good، لكن إحنا عارفين إنه ممكن ننميهم، يعني we can teach them more technical skills. لكن قال لي البنات دول الاثنين ما شاء الله they're positive and they're hungry and they're eager to learn and they work well مع التيم، بيشتغلوا مع التيم بطريقة رهيبة شديد. فدي أكتر حاجة كانت impressive، يعني قال لي I enjoy working with them, I enjoy listening to them. ف it was really nice إنه الحاجة اللي ركز فيها على الناس it wasn't their technical skills, it was their interpersonal skill، وقال عشان كذا they enjoyed having them on the team.
بعدين حاجة تانية بشوف في السودانيين إنه بيخافوا من موضوع اللانجوج، يعني موضوع يكون انت عندك اكسنت ولا كده. يعني انا لحد هسه عندي اكسنت يعني كنت سمعتوني. فالقصه دي اصلا ما تخاف منها، يعني امريكا دي نصها تشاينيز والنص الثاني مكسيكان وهنود يعني، والناس دي كلها شغاله. طبعا هي الكوميونيكيشن مهمه، لكن انت ما لازم يكون عندك لسانك كده زي الطلقه كده عشان تقدر تبكر الناس. فيعني ما تخلي ده يكون عائق انه انا والله ما حمشي الانترفيو ولا تكون خايف. ده الجدج اللي جواك بيقول لك
الجدج في الكتاب ذاك that's called the judge، انه انت كلامك ما مفهوم ما حيحبوك.
والله انت بلغتك دي ما اظن حتمشي لقدام. الحاجات دي كلها الواحد يشيلها من باله as long as الواحد بيقدر بس انه to send his message الحاجه اللي هو داير عشان بس الناس تفهم انت بتقول في شنو. ده enough، بالذات في التكنيكال. يعني الناس هسه ممكن يشغلوا مثلا من الهند ما بيعرف اي حاجه، لكن بيعرف يعمل الشغل لكن ما بيعرف يتكلم مثلا. فبس ما تخلي الحته حقت اللانجوج دي
to be a barrier for you.
توقف الزول من انه يمشي لقدام.
Yeah, but I want you to work on it. يعني if speaking English with a stronger fluency, you don't want to make it a barrier. يعني ما تخلوها حاجة موقفاكم من إنكم تمشوا، لكن خليها تكون one of your goals. يعني find a neighbor, a friend who's an American and speak to them often. Take an online course. يعني الناس اللي إحنا كان عندنا أولاد عمتي الاثنين جو في نفس الوقت، سبحان الله في نفس الطيارة في نفس الوقت. واحد فيهم نفس المستوى، واحد فيهم يتعلم الإنجليزي بقى طلقة يعني almost with a great accent، والثاني تأخر شديد. واحد فيهم was outgoing كان بيتكلم مع الناس كتير إن شاء الله في الدكان. He always speaks to people until he got the language right. والثاني كان he's very يعني انطوائي. He's very afraid to speak to people. So that kind of just delayed his ability to learn English يعني and master the language. حديكم fast forward للستوري حقتي أنا. لما بدينا الشركة كنا بس بنعمل training و consulting، استشارة يعني. It was basically like شركة بتاع تدريب واستشارة. بعد قمنا طورناها وقلت يا أخي I want to create a product، والproduct ده كان agilevideos.com. فagilevideos.com فيها تقريبا 300 فيديو مننا إحنا on agile، فبقينا بنبيعها للشركات. بعد شوية قلنا لا عايزين نطور أكتر، عايزين نزح من البزنس حق السيرفيس بزنس ونكون في subscription. السبسكريبشن بزنس ده إنه أنا حأبيع السوفت وير حقتي للشركات الكبيرة العالمية هنا، وهم حيدفعوا لي قروش سنوية عليها. يعني زي ما أنتوا لما تشتروا Salesforce الناس الشغالين في Salesforce this is called a SaaS product، software as a service. زي QuickBooks، زي بفكر في واحدين تاني الناس بيكونوا بيعرفوهم QuickBooks، Salesforce،
Zoom بذاته.
Zoom is kind of يعني it's an application. فده الناس اللي عملوا الابلكيشن احنا شايفينها دي ذاتها الناس بتدفع لهم يا شهريا يا سنويا، لكن هم حسي ما معنا. يعني الناس بتاعين زوم ده احنا حسي دافعين لهم واحنا بنستعمل في السوفت وير حقته. فدي نفس الحاجه اللي انا وخالد حبينا نعملها، انه نحول الحاجه دي. فقمنا فعلا we started وعملنا سوفت وير اسمه Agility Health. هي زي ما قلت لكم بتقيم الاداء حق الشركات الكبيره. الشركات الصغيره ما بنشتغل معاها لانه احنا يعني عملناها مخصص للشركات الكبيره شديد. فالحمد لله رب العالمين some of our customers، one of my newest customers أنا مبسوطة بهم شديد ناسا بتاعنا السبيس شاتل. So I'm very proud of NASA coming on board. لكن شركاتنا زي Bank of America، زي ناس Anthem، زي نايكي بتاع الجزم، Discover، American Express، دول كلهم شركات كبيرة يعني خلاص وثقوا فينا. لكن يعني how do I work with large companies like that؟ بصراحة باخد high standards لشغلنا. يعني شغلنا مفروض يكون شغل أحسن من شغل الأمريكان نفسهم. يعني مفروض يكون الجودة حقته والدليفري والاكسلنس يعني it's like world class level يعني ولا حتى شركة أمريكية عادية ممكن to compete with the kind of service that we deliver.
طيب
فبرضو
عندي بس مقاطعة صغيرة.
تفضل.
بس زي ما سالي قبل شوية قالت lessons learned. يعني الليسن learned هنا شنو؟ إنه إحنا وقت بدينا الشغل ده أصله ما فكرنا في يوم من الأيام إن إحنا دايرين نعمل لنا سوفت وير. ده ما كان شغلنا ولا عندنا فكرة زي دي. كنا بس تعال نعمل تريننج ونعلم الناس يعملوا أجايب. بس دي كانت الفكرة هنا.
صح.
فأنت لو عندك فكرة حقت أي بزنس ما تتأخر فيها كثير. وما تفتكر انك تعمل لك خطه ولا دراسه جدوى
بتاعت 10 سنين
حقت 10 سنين ولا 20 سنه اللي قدام، ودي حتكون دي خلاص الخطه حقتك انت حتمشي عليها. على حسب الفكره انت جاتك ابتدي طوالي. بعد شويه كل شويه حتفتح لك ابواب جديده. ليه؟ لانك انت بتتعامل مع الناس، بتتعامل مع الكاستمرز. يعني احنا وقت جاتنا فكره السوفت وير دي ما جاتنا من فراغ، جاتنا عشان مثلا الزبائن بتاعنا النبي يقول لك يا اخي والله يا اخي لو عملت لي كده ولا ما تصاني الحاجه دي، انت براك عشان تفتكر انه يعني بيجيك الافكار انه تعال انا اطور الشغل بتاعي ده واعمل حاجه ثانيه.
صح.
لكن الفكره دي ما بتجيك من البدايه. فانت دائما الحاجه اللي بتجيك ابتدي بها طوالي، بتبتدي بسرعه. وما في مشكله لو بديت وما نفعت معك. يعني ما تفتكر دي فيلير. دي ما فيلير، دي احنا بنسميها learning opportunity. اذا تعلمت لك حاجه جديده، تعلمت من البيزنس، تعلمت فيه حاجه جديده، تمشي لبعدها. لو مش قادر تمشي لبعدها، لكن ما تتاخر. يعني الترو فيلير انك انت
to never start
to never start or stop trying. If you stop trying, this is the failure. If you tried وما نجحت, you learn from it and you go to the next one. فاحنا ما كنا مفكرين في سوفت وير، ما كنا مفكرين حتى في اجا الفيديوز اللي قاعد كنت سالي. كان فكرتنا انه تعال بس تعلم الناس وانتهينا. يعني دي كانت فكرتنا كده. لكن شويه بتتفتح لك ابواب انت ما كنت اصلا بتفكر فيها، لكن شويه بتفتح لك يعني.
واخر lesson وبعد كده we're going to take questions هو اللسن انا بديت لكم فيه من الاول، اللي هو يعني after we found something that we love and that we did it with excellence واشتغلناها ب high quality وانجزنا فيها، بعد كده money came. يعني الشركه كبرت وكل سنه بعد سنه بتكبر الحمد لله. I would say احنا one of the only and very few successful software companies وصلت الحته اللي احنا فيها من غير investment. يعني معظم الشركات الزينا الستارت اب كومبانيز الشغالين في مجال السوفت وير من الاول كده بيدخلوا معاهم انفسترز اسمهم VC فينشر كابيتالست، بيدوهم كده 15-20 مليون دولار بيخشوا بها في الشركه، لكن بيشيلوا منك جزء من الشركه. فيعني بيشاركوك في شركتك. يعني احنا من الشركات الوحيده حس اللي انا بعرفها اللي هي women and minority owned business. وصلنا الحته اللي احنا فوقها من الريفينيو حقنا يعني in the millions، وما في زول ساعدنا من الاول. يعني الحمد لله. طبعا في الفتره اللي فاتت مع الكوفيد انكل سام I was like خالد الله اللي عمل انفستمنت معنا، لانه ناس الحكومه الامريكيه ادونا البي بي بي، فطبعا دي ساعدتنا كثير جدا جدا لانه كانت فتره صعبه خالص الكوفيد. I want to also tell you إنه يعني the money came because of the quality and the excellence and the passion and the hard work that we did and building a strong team. التيم حقنا برضو very strong، وتعلمنا مليون درس إنه التيم اللي أنت بتشغله حولك والناس اللي حولك كيف مهمين إنهم يعني to be positive. زي ما الأخت قالت إنه الناس لازم حولك يكونوا positive. أنا الناس اللي بيكسروا مجالي في ديلا أول حاجة كلامهم بيخش من حتة بيطلع من حتة تانية تماماً. أنا خالص ما بسمع كلام زول نيجاتيف ولا بأثر فيني خالص. يارا تعالي سلمي يا أيورا، سلمي بعدين. غيرت رأيي. عاملة شعري قالت دي بنتي يارا عمرها 16 سنة. لكن الناس النيجاتيف يلا بقى ما تخليك حولك الناس النيجاتيف ديلا. يعني completely close your eyes and ears from listening to negative input.
ما تخليها تأثر فيك.
And then you just move forward. يعني you just move forward and you find يعني positive people that you can be around and people that can inspire you to move forward. فده تقريبا آخر lesson اللي هو إنه money will come when you deliver something of excellence. فبعد كده I want to open it up. دراكم تسألونا أسئلة، تدردشوا معنا شوية. منى سألتنا السؤال الأول منى اللي هو how did you overcome the huge competition in the beginning. شفتي يا منى to be very honest with you I have never looked at competition لأنه الحاجة اللي أنا بقدمها I always want it to be so unique in the value proposition. يعني ما بقعد أشوف مثلاً أشوف الشركة دي قدمت شنو وأنا أقدم أحسن منها. أنا بشوف الكاستمر حقي أكتر حاجة محتاجة أحس شنو. يعني I really try to focus on my customer and their pain points. والpain point دي أنا كيف ممكن أتقطع to deliver the best thing possible to solve their problem. يعني وكيف ممكن أديهم the best customer experience and the best customer service. الحاجة دي بتخلي الناس يجوك راجعين over and over and over again. يعني لأنهم they know that إنه أنت مخلص شديد في شغلك وإنك what you're going to do is going to be very high quality. بعد كده بيجوك راجعين. فإحنا من شركة
وأهم حاجة
صغيرة
حتحل لهم مشكلة هم فعلا عندهم مشكلة دارين يحلوها. فلما يكون في مثلا ثلاثة شركات ممكن يحلوا المشكلة دي، بس بيشوفوا الشركة اللي هو منو they can trust more، منو عمل يعني حل المشكلة دي لشركة ثانية قبل كده، منو المستعد إنه هو يضحي يعني ويقعد معانا صباح مثل النهار لحد ما المشكلة تخلص. فهنا السيرفيس بتجي يعني.
وبعد كده الكاستمر الأول والكاستمر الثاني بيكون عندكم good stories. يعني الستوريز السكسس ستوريز اللي ممكن تحكوها للكاستمر اللي بعده، حتى بعد شوية word of mouth، يعني الناس بتتكلم بعض بالشغل اللي انتم عملتوه. في زول سأل سؤال قال I think how do you tackle your fears. دي النقطة من الستوري اللي أنا لسه ما حكيتها اللي هي مهمة جدا، اللي هي الوالدة. هعمل لكم شير للسكرين عشان تقدروا تشوفوا شكلها. دي الجريت ريسيشن، لا ما دي لاي-اوفs. وين الحتة بتاعت الوالدة؟ وين ماما؟ أحسب بس عندي سلايد كده فيه هندا السلايد ده. Okay. Behind every strong woman there's a stronger one. فأنا بس بدي أحكي لكم قصة أمي بسرعة، لأنه موضوع الخوف ده أنا اكتشفت حاجة بعد ما كبرت، إنه هو حاجة بتتبني فينا من ما إحنا صغار. From a very young age يعني you start to teach your children fear. Fear of doing something different, fear of failure. يلا أنا ما علمتني الحاجة دي. يعني أنا أمي سافرت معها وأنا عمري 4 سنين، مشينا اسكتلندا وعشنا برا، وهي كانت بتحضر في الدكتوراه. هي ذاتها الحركة حقتها دي إنها تمشي for her to leave Sudan and to go to Scotland with her 4-year-old daughter to get her PhD. I mean, everybody was against her in Sudan. They were like, are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? Why? ليه يعني ما انت عندك راجلك هنا وبنتك، ليه ماشيه الماجستير كملتيها؟ ليه يعني الطموح الزياده ده وتمشي تعيشي في بلد غريبه وكده؟ لكن my mother was so inspiring and so يعني طموحه، انها دي كانت بالنسبه لها حاجه مهمه شيء جدا جدا. والحمد لله انها شي جدت، لانه يعني إن كونها ساقتني معاها اسكتلندا وعيشتني هناك and she honestly made me feel إنه I can do anything I want to do. يعني بجد الوالدة دي الله يخليها لنا ويطول في عمرها ادتني يعني تفاؤل وأمل في الحياة، وإنه you are capable of doing anything يا سالي، ما في حاجة بتجيف لك في سكتك. and I think إنه I never realized this لغاية ما كبرت ولاحظت إنه معظم الناس التانيين بيخافوا شديد من إنهم ياخدوا خطوة لقدام. فأنا the main message I have here is please if you are a mother or a father ما تكسروا مجاديف أولادكم، ما تقول لهم إنهم ما بيقدروا يعملوا حاجة، ما تشاكلوهم وتقول لهم مثلاً something that they want to do they're not capable of doing. You giving your children يعني confidence today while they're young is what's going to make them be different when they grow up يعني. For my mother and the confidence that she gave me يعني is what allows me to dream very big dreams. يعني أنا الأحلام حقتي خرافية، خزت وبتعب معي من الأحلام كل 5 دقائق يطلع لي بحاجات كبيرة يعني دارين نعملها.
طبعا موضوع الفير ده يعني حتى لو انت كان عندك فير ممكن شويه شويه تحاول تتغلب عليه. يعني مثلا انا كنت عكس ساري تماما. يعني انا ابوي الله يرحمه مره لقاني انا مشيت السوق، بس مشيت اغير لي بنطلون. يعني زمان في السودان لما يدوك حاجه تطلع ما مقاسك ممكن تمشي تغيرها تبديلها وتكري كان اكسشينج كده. فجي سالني قال لي انت كنت وين؟ قلت انا مشيت السوق. قال لي تقدر تعمل لي فيها تاجر يعني ولا شنو؟ تقعد تشوف قراءتك دي يا ولد ما تقدر تعمل لي فيها سوق وبتاع. واي زول قال لي احنا اي واحد فينا مشى فكر انه يعمل له تجاره خسر قروشه وبس تقعد تقرا قرايتك. فمن البدايه كده انا قمت انه انا بس مفروض بس اقرا قرايتي. يعني تعلمت كده من انا صغير اقرا قرايتي عشان في النهايه اطلع ابقى مهندس. وفعلا لما جيت امريكا مشيت قريت هندسه. يعني لان دي الحاجه اللي هم يعني خدوها فينا يعني فكان القصه دي عن مين انا صغير. لكن شويه 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 كده لحد ما لما تلاقي في واحده شقيه كده شويه شويه كده كان يعني خلتني ما اخاف من الموضوع ده. فالقصه ممكن الواحد يتغلب عليها يعني حتى لو انت نشأت عليها ممكن يتغلب عليها شويه شويه. بس الواحد to be bold ويقوي قلبه شويه.
I think we got one more question from Suad. Share with us, how did you secure your first customer client? They don't know you versus other companies. Okay, يعني أول customer. طبعا أنا I'm gonna be honest. أول customer ده كان I don't even remember. This was 12 years ago.
كانت mutual ولا كانت Blue Cross Blue Shield؟
بتكون Blue Cross Blue Shield ولا mutual. أنا I think السيتويشن حقتي might be different لأنه أنا طبعا كنت شغالة في الشركة ديكي وكنت بعمل seminars. كنت بعمل seminars كتيرة في أوماها. This was how we were getting customers. يعني كنا بنديهم free training و free learning، والناس كانوا بيجوا بيحضروا seminar بيمشوا. فالناس بدأوا يتعرفوا علينا في السيمينار ده. كنت بعمل ماركتينج كتير للسيمينار ده ذاته، يعني كل الشركات اللي حاسة إنه ممكن يستفيدوا من الحاجة دي. فمن هنا جاتنا بلو كروس بشغل نبراسكا.
وكل الشركات كانت لوكال. هسه يعني احنا في اوماها بصراحه ما عندنا
أي شركات.
ما عندنا ولا كاستمر واحد في اوماها. يعني كل الكاستمرز برا امريكا، جوا امريكا وبرا امريكا، لكن برا الستيت اوف نبراسكا دي كله
يعني كل الشركات حسي برا اوماها. لكن في اوماها السيمينارز حقتنا كنا بنمشي للميت ابس. في حاجه اسمها ميت اب. الميت اب ده هو انك بتلقى ناس مجموعه متلمين نتوركينج، يعني ميتينج بتكلموا على موضوع معين، فانت بتتعرف على الناس هناك. الحاجه انا ما بعملها انه مثلا نقول انا I want a job اقوم I don't like to follow what other people are doing. يعني مثلا نقول في حاجه معينه انا دايراها وفي 20-50 people that are all applying for the same thing، انا ما بمشي بطريق الباب ده طوالي. I always find a creative way to get to the decision maker. يعني اديكم مثال like right now احنا في شركتنا بنلقى new customers كيف بنعمل حاجه اسمها LinkedIn prospecting. LinkedIn prospecting هي بنشوف الشركات اللي في الحجم اللي احنا دايرينه، اللي هم they have to be $1 billion or more per year الريفينيو حقهم. بشوف في لينكدين التايتلز حقت الناس اللي انا دايراهم، اللي هم senior vice president وعندهم اي knowledge حق agile او CIO، وبنرسل لهم مسجات directly في لينكدين بطريقه ظريفه شديد وبطريقه very warm. إنه hey, I'm a fellow, يعني as a fellow executive and transformation leader, I would love to meet you and just exchange يعني ideas on كده digital transformation. فالمسج دي بنرسل منها زي 30-40 في اليوم. اوكي يعني عشان بس تشوفوا aggressive كيف احنا 30-40 في اليوم. في الاسبوع طبعا عندي واحده شغاله في الحاجه دي اسمها آن. فآن دي from المسجات الكثيره اللي احنا بنرسلها دي بتعمل لي تقريبا في الشهر 30-40 appointment، 30-40 new meetings. ده الناس انا ما بعرفهم قبل كده ولا هم شافونا، لكن الرسائل اللي بنرسلها لهم الكثيره دي called LinkedIn prospecting بتخليهم يتعرفوا علينا. هم بيرجعوا بيشوفوا البروفايل حقي في لينكدين بيقولوا واو I like her, let me see if I can actually meet with her. من الكم 30 meeting ده قولوا منهم 5 بس بيكونوا customers، الباقيين بيكونوا ونسة ودردشة no problem. لكن يعني this is called digital marketing. فالديجيتال ماركتينج and digital sales هي إنه الزول بيفكر ما بالطريقة التقليدية مش هدوق للناس بابهم، بتفكر في إنه everybody is available on LinkedIn. الناس موجودين online, how do I reach them and what is the right message to reach them. So that's just an example. أي أسئلة تانية؟
طيب I'm just gonna jump in real quick. This is Bashir. I'm just gonna jump in real quick. عارف الأسئلة وعلى بال الناس بتفكر في أسئلة إضافية إن شاء الله. في بس نقاط أحيانا بتتعاد منها مسألة الواحد ممكن أحيانا take the risk والكلام ده يشجعه جدا the door gets slammed in their face one time. ففي ناس كثيرة بتقوم تخاف بعد ذاك تقول أنا حاولت وفشلتها. فهل أنتم من خبرتكم دائما الواحد بيكون في نجاح مثلا في كل حاجة عشان كده تمشي لقدام، ولا أحيانا الواحد ممكن مثلا في الانترفيو امشي انترفيو انا جت ريجكتد فخلاص اقول بطلت بعد ده واتعقد وكده؟ ده السؤال الاول. السؤال الثاني برضه اهميه الهارد ورك. انا طبعا I know you guys and respect you so much ما شاء الله تبارك الله على personal level. يعني في قصه كنا حكيناها المره اللي فاتت مساله how many credit hours you were taking، اللي هي مساله الهارد ورك. ما في حاجه بتجي سهله في الدنيا دي، يعني we have to work so hard. خالد طبعا there's so many stories that I can tell. يعني لما نقول he struggled to start from zero، انا حقول كمان minus zero. يعني everything he did ما شاء الله تبارك الله from hard work. الزول ده يوما ما كان بيشتغل دليفري، ممكن اقولها يا خالد؟
طوالي تفضل.
انا اصلا اتعرفت على خالد
لا النكته ما في الدليفري، النكته بيشتغل دليفري بعربيه من غير باب.
Oh that's right. Yeah I remember.
يعني عزيمه ما بعد عزيمه ما شاء الله.
وبعدين يبقى لي مره ركبتني معك في العربيه يا خالد الباب كان مكسور.
يعني فانا I really want to say لانه جد يعني نحن فينا نوع من ما عاوز اقول انهزام، لكن عندنا كويس انه وريتنا ال different kind of 12 different possibilities كده يعني. لكن احيانا بنحس بنوع من الهزيمه او انه لا او خلوا اولادنا ينجحوا او كده، احنا خلونا بس في الحاجه البسيطه احنا فيها we try to justify it. فانا I want to say you guys really had a lot of hard punches, you had a lot of struggles, and if you could just maybe focus on that a little bit. And finally it's I think one thing that I like it's not the technical. a lot of it is also the attitude. يعني من أبسط الأشياء نجاحكم ما شاء الله تبارك الله في السودان next gen. حتى if you want to share the page of Sudan next gen, it would be nice if you'd like to يعني. يعني just show us إنه how once you have the attitude, it's very possible to تجيب. يعني إحنا السودانيين في كل ولاية يكون عندنا جالية والجالية بتحصل فيها حاجات وإحنا صعبين نجي مع بعض وسياساتنا. كيف ما شاء الله تبارك الله you're able once you have that successful attitude to bring people together, make them work together for a good cause. ف just wanted to يعني open up. ما أفكر في أسئلة ثانية يعني.
تمام.
قبل ما بشير يمشي.
ايوه.
طبعا خالد قال لما اول من جاء امريكا، ودي المينتاليتي بتاعت الناس كلها اللي بيجوا امريكا، انه they are not here to stay. فدي مشكله مهمه جدا جدا للناس اللي جايين جداد، انه to think انه they are here to stay. لانه once انه you think you are not here to stay دي مشكله، لانه ما بتخلي يعني تفكيرك حتى طريقه يعني شغلك او حتى الحاجات. يعني زمان عندنا حتى الناس اللي بيشتروا حاجات هنا مثلا، نحن جينا طبعا قدام شويه، حتى العربات اللي بيشتروها مثلا اشتري عربيه يقول لك لا انا بشتري عربيه عشان انه لما مشيت السودان تتباع هناك. يعني حتى العربيه اللي بيشتروها هنا. فمهم جدا انه الناس اللي بيجوا المهاجرين اللي بيجوا جداد او حتى القاعدين او حتى لانه لحد الان في ناس 30-40 سنه في امريكا ولحد الان متصورين انه حيرجعوا السودان وما they haven't accomplished that a lot يعني. ف يعني this is a true success story يعني vision يعني من الاخت سادي والاخ خالد. يعني the main thing انه يعني اللي احنا ما زي دول الخليج مثلا جايين يعني اقامات وحاجات زي دي تو immigrants جايين هنا تو ستي، فتخلوا التفكير كله يكون شنو؟ انه you are يعني establishing your stuff here يعني وكيدز واشياء زي دي. فيا ريت يعني little bit elaboration من الاخوه الضيوف.
اصعب حاجه في الموضوع ده كانت لما اقدر اقنع امي انها تبيع بيتها في السودان عشان اشتري لها 4 بيوت في امريكا. ما تتخيلوا النقطه دي؟ قسما بالله العظيم انا اقنعت ماما بعد تعب، لانه يمكن انا وخالد خلاص اقتنعنا احنا حنعيش هنا، لكن امي كانت لسه شايفه انه almost like واجب علينا يكون عندها بيت في السودان. يعني لازم يكون عندها بيت في السودان. كيف ما يكون عندنا بيت في السودان؟ احنا حياتنا كلها مغتربين برا عشان يكون عندنا بيت في السودان. بقول لها ماما البيت في السودان مكلف القروش، يعني احنا كل شهر وبعدين معذبين ناس اعمامي لانهم كل يوم لازم يمشوا يصلحوا البيت وكذا. ماما البيت في السودان ده كان ما بيحتوي وحاسه عادي وجبتي لي انا بقدر اعمل لك انفستمنت هنا في 4 بيوت في امريكا. and this is really what happened. البيت ما في الطابع كان 300 ولا 400 ألف حاجه زي دي كده.
البيوت في السودان غاليه شديد.
البيوت في السودان غاليه وصراحه يعني it's just a really bad investment. المهم شلنا 300 400 ألف ما قد اتذكرها كم، وزعناها هنا على 4 بيوت اشترينا لها. الدخل حسي اللي بيجي طالع من ال4 بيوت دي لا يقارن بالعقل بالحاجه، لكن بس الفكره بتاعت انه لكن لازم يكون عندنا بيت في السودان. ف this was very difficult لانه انا خلاص مقتنعه انه this is my country. انا I'm gonna stay here. يعني انا حاشتغل السودان نكشن دي ان شاء الله باقي حياتي كلها اساعد السودان كبلدي وحامشي وارجع اجازات، لكن انا where is my home where am I going to stay and live. this اقتناعي انا، يعني ما لازم يكون اقتناعكم انتم، لكن احنا خلاص بنينا بيتنا. يا هند بيتنا بنيناه from scratch، يا هند ساكنين اولادنا حنربيهم هنا، بنعلمهم قرآن، بندرسهم عربي، يعني خلاص عرفنا كده. دي الحته اللي احنا قاعدين فيها.
بعدين زي ما قلت لهم الواحد لازم تو اوفركم الفير. يعني هي المشكله شنو؟ يعني انت لو قلت انا خلاص انا حاشتري لي بيت ولا حاشتري عربيه كويسه ولا دار استقيل هنا، قول بعدين رجعت السودان. المشكله شنو؟ يعني انت هسه براك كنت في فلوريدا، لو كنت اشتريت لك بيت قبل 10 سنين ده تبيعه هسه كنت حتعمل رقم كيف؟ يعني الفرق بقى كبير جدا جدا. انت اصلا دي انفستمنت بالنسبه لك. فانت دونت ثينك اباوت انه انا يعني داير اقعد يعني انا ارجع السودان. حتى لو رجعت يعني شنو؟ بيع الحاجه اللي عملتها وامشي ستار برضه في السودان. يعني ما في مشكله، يعني ما حاجه فيها خوف يعني.
بشير قال لي علق على حاجتين هعلق عليهم سريع جدا. انا لما كنت في الجامعه اخر سنتين او لا اخر سنه ليا I really wanted the job. يعني كنت المفروض اتخرج، فالوظيفه اللي انا شغاله فيها اشتغلت intern ب $13 في الساعه بتذكر، وواحده معايا كانت عندها maternity leave وعايزه تمشي خلاص من الشغل. وانا طبعا مجتهده جدا جدا، يعني I work very very hard باخلاص. فقام المدير لما لقاها هي عايزه تمشي فقام يعني كلمنا، يعني قال لنا خلاص احنا we're gonna open up a new position عشان to replace المرة دي. طبعا هي full time job، مش انت طوالي في الاوفيس. قلت له يا can't remember his name is Joseph، قلت له يا اخي I want this position. قال لي يا انتي؟ قلت له yeah I'm working very hard، الحاجه اللي انتم حقتكم دي انا بتعلمها، انا داير البوزيشن دي. قال لي لكن انتي ما لازم تكوني باقي لك سمستر واحد تتخرجي فيه عشان نديكي full time job معنا انك انت تحسي انتر. قلت له اوكي let me check on that. ضربت التليفون قلت لهم شباب في الجامعه باقي لي كم credit hours؟ قال لي باقي لك 40 credit hours، سمسترين يعني لانه السمستر ب 20. سجلت لهم كلهم كل ال 40 credit hours، اخذت 4 كلاسات اونلاين و5 كلاسات in person، والجامعه الواحده ابد توافقت لي، قلت لي اصلا مستحيل، احنا نديكي 21 credits ماكسيمم، ما ممكن تاخذي اكثر من كذا. قلت ما في مشكله، انتوا سجلوا لي 21، الباقيين اخذتهم في جامعه ثانيه عشان I was so يعني insistent on graduating and getting that job. اشتغلت طلعت زيت ابو اهلي يعني بصراحه، يعني it was very difficult. وبعدها I graduated with honors الحمد لله، يعني I had an honor degree. الحاجه دي ما بقولها عشان اشوف انا ابدا، لكن بقولها انه young people sometimes don't realize يعني it takes hard work, it takes dedication. All of my other friends were like partying وبيطلعوا بيهزروا بيتونسوا بيعملوا حاجات كثيره ومبسوطين. انا كنت شغاله I was really يعني focused on this job and وشغلوني full time. يعني تخيلوا الوظيفه كانت part time بقت full time، وبقى عندي 40 credit hours and I graduated with honors. ومنها يعني I started my career. So this is just a lesson in hard work, a lesson in failure. الكلام اللي قال لكم خالد بتاع البيوت اللي عندنا الكثير اشتريناه، اول بيت اشتريته بيت ناس بشير، تذكروا يا بشير؟ ناس بشير انا جيتكم في ايوا، وناس بشير انا كان عمري 17 سنه، وبشير واسرته كانوا عايزين يبيعوا بيتهم، وانا كنت بسمع باضاني ساكت الكلام انه في امريكا هنا الناس بتشتري البيوت بتصلحها وبتبيعها وبيعملوا $10,000. بس سمعت الكلام ده عملت له ريسيرش was like I want to do that، انا عايز اعمل الحاجه دي. تخيلوا بنت مفعوصه عمري 17 سنه سمعت انه الناس بتشتري بيوت وبتصلحها وبتبيعها. مشيت كلمت امي زي الزول، ماما انا دايره اشتري بيت حق ناس بشير ده ودايراكم تعملوا لي فيه انفستمنت. انا تخيلي بس نغير الكاربت نعمل شويه هناك كده ده بينت وعايزه اخذته، احتمال نقدر نعمل منه 5 ولا 7 ولا $10,000 ماما، لكن انا حكون محتاجه منكم تعملوا له كوساين. يا دوب انا كنت قلبت 18 سنه في اللحظه دي. I was 18 years old. البيت ده لما اشتريناه امي ادتني اللون وفعلا وطلعت لي كريدت كارد بتذكر في اللحظه ديكي، وشينا القروش كلها وظبطنا بيها البيت وطلع رهيب. الزول اللي انا عملت له هايرنج، انا طبعا كنت غشيمه وبصدق اي زول، كان هيز ا كون ارتست. عارفين كلمه كون ارتست يعني شنو؟ نصاب. كان زول نصاب
وشاطر، لكن نصاب
شاطر والله، شغله كان نظيف بصراحه ما اكذب عليكم، لكن كان نصاب. كان زول طالع من السجن وعنده سوابق زي ما بيقولوا. وبعد ما صلح لي البيت كله امشي يا راجل بالليل افتح المويه في البيت كله، غرق لي البيت فوق تحت. ضرب لي تليفون في نص الليل الساعه 2-3 صباحا، Are you Sally Elatta؟ ايوه انا Sally Elatta. Your house is flooding. What؟ شنو؟ والله قلبي ده يموت. ممكن جدا كنت اللحظه ديك اقول موضوع البيوت ده انا ابدا الله ما وفقني فيه، وانا ما مكتوب لي اعمل بيوت. ما وقفنا في اللحظه، ولا وعملها فيني تاني بالمناسبه. يعني كانت المره الاولى انا ما كنت عارفه هو، لما عمل المره الثانيه تاني صلحنا البيت وجبت الانشورنس كمباني وصلحنا والثاني، والموضوع بقى سو فيشي. وقام بعد شويه جاني البارول اوفيسر حقه قال لي do you know who you're dealing with؟ You're dealing with a con artist.
هو طبعا لانه كان خريج سجون، واحنا طبعا كل الجدات البرديه ما بنعرف الشغل ده، فلانه يمشي عشان يقدم في شغل ما كانوا بيشغلوه لانه بعرفوا الماضي بتاعه ما بيشغلوه. فقام هو
تخصص فينا
وجا لي قال الجماعه دول شكلهم كده فورينرز كده ومساكين وافهم حاجه، بصلح لكم البيت ادفعوا لي كده اتفقنا معاه على هذا الاساس. وطبعا خالد قال له شغل يعني، فاللي يصلح البيت بعد ما الشغل يخلص يقوم يخسر البيت ثاني يبوظوا لنا ثاني،
الانشورنس بيدفع ثاني
والانشورنس لا وثاني لانه يعني عمله كويس هو في البدايه، يعني قمنا نشغله هو ذاته ثاني وثاني يشيل قروشه ثاني يخسر البيت. اللي قال القصه يعني ماشيه معاه كويسه يعني.
المهم الخلاصه حقت الموضوع ده انه البيت ده ممكن انا من الاكسبيرينس اللي جاتني دي وانا عمري 18 سنه يجيني خلعه كده واقول ما حخش البيوت ثاني. اصريت وثاني دخلنا، لكن المره دخلنا كورسات دخلنا كورسات وتعلمناها بطريقه صحيحه وبقينا بنستعملها. ف this is another point that I just wanted to make. والفيليرز حقتنا كانت كثيره زي دي، لكن عمرنا ما شفناها انه فيلير انه فشلنا. كلها شفنا طب اتعلمنا شنو درس الله كان داري يعلمنا شنو، ما هو كلها حاجات دروس من رب العالمين يعني.
الحقيقه انا داير اقول برضه قبل بشير منشن يعني موضوع
باقي لنا 9 minutes. 9 minutes يا بشير، مش نخلص بعد 9 دقائق 8 دقائق.
Yes, as you wish, absolutely.
تمام.
موضوع العربيه حق الدليفري وما كان فيها باب وكذا وكذا، فعلا والله احنا بنستعرض يعني فروم بلو زيرو. لكن ده اقول لك شنو الترانزيشنال جوبز اصلا ما فيها مشكله. يعني انا اشتغلت في البيتزا درايفر دي لحد ما تخرجت من الجامعه، واشتغلت في مصنع التلج، واشتغلت في مصنع كده كان بيعملوا قزاز، ومشينا في عملنا الديكاسلينج.
معلش يا خالد، بس معلش اقاطعك، قلت ترانزيشنال جوبز، قصدك شنو الترانزيشنال جوبز؟ بس معلش واصل بعد.
ترانزيشنال جوبز يعني مثلا تشيل لك شغلانه مثلا تكون بسيطه، تشتغل في مطعم، تغسل عده، تشتغل بيزا درايفر. يعني مثلا انا كان بالنسبه لي ترانزيشن وقت انا ما كنت في المدرسه في الكوليج، اشتغلت مثلا بيزا مثلا. هسه وقتنا ما كان في اوبر، يمكن لو كان في اوبر ولا كان في ليفت ولا كان في كده كان زول يشتغلها. لكن كان مثلا كان في ناس بتشتغل مثلا تكاسي في شيكاغو في نيويورك وكده، بس احنا ما كنا ساكنين في الحته ديك، وشغل التاكسي ما كان بيعمل لك قروش، لكن ممكن تعمل قروش مثلا في البيتزا. فما فيها حاجه غلط ولا فيها حاجه عيب، يعني الواحد يشتغل الشغلانه دي، لكن بس don't get too comfortable وتبقى عليه. يعني دائما خلي عندك انت افكارك اللي قدام تقدر تسوي شنو، وخلي دي تكون بس مرحله ترانزيشن، مرحله كده تقضي بيك امورك حاليا، لكن حاليا دي ما تكون 10 سنين ولا 20 سنه اللي قدام تواصل فيها طوال. مرات احنا من غير الواحد يشعر start to feel comfortable. خلاص يعني بقى عندي قروش كده، عملت لي حبه قريشات، وبقيت اساعد اهلي في السودان، ارسل هنا، وخلاص يقوم يقرض على كده. يعني just to continue doing this forever، يعني just never change. Always have يعني your future plan what you want to do and work towards that. الترانزيشن دي is كويسه، يعني it helps you at the time being، لكن just don't get stuck فيها لفتره طويله. يعني
في اسئله في اسئله افتكر لو شفتوها ممكن.
لا ما شفتها، نشوف. I wanted to buy a house here, and one of my friends asked me what happens if God forbid you pass away. Do you really think your wife and kids will make it here? Ever since that happened, I stopped listening to what people say. Yes.
What if God didn't take it?
What if إن لو تفتح عمل الشيطان كانت تقول له كده. تاني شنو? What do you think about some people saying that education degree is not a passport to success and experience is all that matters? والله أنا يعني I'm gonna be honest with you، شوية بحس إنه أحياناً الناس اللي جايين من السودان، لأن السودان مركزين شديد على الشهادة، يعني الشهادة الماجستير الدكتوراه الماجستير الدكتوراه كده كده، فبيقوم بيجوا بالفكرة بتاعت إنه أنا لازم أخش أعمل لي ديجري ثانية، ديجري ثالثة، ديجري رابعة. إحنا غايته في شركتنا دي وفي شركات كثيرة ما في زول قاعد يعاين صراحة. يعني they want to make sure you have a bachelor's degree، لكن ما في زول قاعد يا سلام الزول ده عنده ماسترز وعنده PhD. يعني الماسترز والPhD بيشوفون حاجة رهيبة لو أنت عاوز تشتغل، بالذات الPhD إنك عاوز تكون بروفيسور، يعني إنك عاوز تدرس في جامعات ذاتها. الناس هنا they really value واحدة لو حتخش programs التكنيكال programs الفيري سبيشاليزد. يعني مثلا زي البروجرام حق بشير ده اللي هو بيدرسك في Salesforce وبتطلع Salesforce administrator و you really know what you're doing in Salesforce. Okay, I love that. مثلا انت داخل في مجال حق Agile اتخصصت فيه شديد، عملت السيرتيفيكيشن بروجرام، بقى واضح عليك انك عندك multiple certifications فيه، وبعد كده عندك experience. فيعني انا شخصيا يعني I believe يعني انه people here value السبيشاليزيشن، انك تخش في حاجه معينه وتعملها كويس، من الجنراليزيشن. الجنراليزيشن انا تعلمتها، عندي ماسترز ديجري في business administration، ما بطال يعني I'm not saying don't do that if that's what you're working on، لكن I'm just telling you يعني being very good at something and getting experience in that goes a long way in the United States than the generalization of getting a PhD in something. يعني يمكن في السودان الناس كلهم دكاتره بيحبوا الحاجه دي شديد، وطبعا عشان ما يكون في زول متلخبط ابدا، above all of it is your interpersonal, your communication, your ability to present yourself and influence others.
هنا في البدي شويه ديفرنت. يعني احنا في السودان تعودنا على الشهادات، يجيك زول عنده مثلا ماستر ولا عنده PhD ده معناته هو احسن، طوالي قيمته انه هو احسن وده عنده مرتب براه وده كده وده كده. هنا لا، هنا لو بتعرف تعمل الحاجه دي كلها هي حاجه هم دارين. طبعا ما بتكلم عن الطب والبتاع دي عندها شهادات، عندها حاجات ثانيه مختلفه، انا فيها ارواح ناس وكده، لكن مثلا تكون مثلا بروجرامر ولا تكون ديفلوبر ولا تكون ادمنستريتور بتاع حاجه معينه، انت اصلا قصدك تعرف الحاجه دي حاجه دي كله دايرينها. يعني هسه في ناس ما شاء الله يعني عندهم فيري جود كاريرز، وفي نهايه الواحد يكون اصلا ما عمل له باتشلر، اصلا ما كمل البكالوريوس بتاعه اصلا من البدايه، لكن بصراحه اتس نوت ايفن نيدد، لانك انت بالشهادات البسيطه. يعني انا من حكيت لكم قبل لما بقيت شغال كنت جافا ديفلوبر بس 3 شهور، وانا كنت متخرج 4 سنين كيميكال انجينير، في النهايه اشتغلتها بالثلاثة شهور حقت الجافا ديفلوبر فرونت اند. يعني ما الواحد ما دونت جيت ستاك في موضوع انه امشي احضر. ما تفتكر انك انت كل ما تقرا زياده معناتها انت حتصل حته. بالعكس الاكسبيرينس اهم. الاكسبيرينس اهم انك انت تاخذ لك ماستر، اعمل اكسبيرينس بعد الجامعه طالع في حاجه ثانيه.
I want to hear from people, what did you learn from today that inspired you? You can speak out loud, you can raise your hand and I'll let you guys open up your mic, or you can post it in the chat. What inspired you today and what are you committing to doing differently for your own life? يعني انتوا من الحاجة اللي علمتوها ليلة حتعملوا شنو بطريقة مختلفة. Let me see your answers in the chat and let me see some of your hands raised so we can hear from you as well. Thank you, TT. Appreciate your comments. Anybody go ahead, raise your hand. I can open up the mic for you. Or if you want to chat, anything that was inspiring for you. All right, Mona, اتفضلي. You can unmute yourself, ya Mona.
And by the way, Ustazah Mona is Mona Ma'ani, so her brother Noy Ma'ani used to swim with Khalid and compete. So taking you back in history to high school days.
سلم على لؤي شديد يا منى، مرحبا بيكي.
الله يسلمكم. تشكروا شكرا جزيلا لكم، يعني فعلا كانت very inspired lecture today. ويا ريت لو كان في مجموعه من الشباب اليانجستر عشان ما يسمعوا الاكسبيرينس بتاعتكم دي، لانه الايامات دي في احباطات شديده جدا في وسطهم من ناحيه انه الكومبيتيشن العالي والستريس العالي، ويعني بيفتكروا انه they are not gonna the fear they're not gonna overcome all of this. فبعدين سؤالي في حكايه انه لازم انه يصلوا لديجري عاليه ويدرسوا كده. ف your answer really is very inspirational, and I will convey that also. Even for my kids, they have the same problem. So I really appreciate what you have said today.
You're welcome. Nice to meet you, Mona. سلم على لؤي.
الله يسلمك.
The first time I met لؤي كنا في الميدل سكول، فانا كنت بقرا في ودن بابي وبقرا في بيت المال، فكنا في السكول بنلعب بينج بونج، فهو he beat me، فلحد هسه انا شايله ليه يعني اقول لها I'm gonna beat you one day.
Khalid is very competitive.
الله يسلمك.
يا حلوين، ان شاء الله يا رب تكونوا استفدتوا فعلا كلكم من النقاش الليله ومن اللقاء ده. يعني يا رب we actually helped you think about يعني a step that you're going to take forward, and whether again you've been here for many years or whether you've only been here for 1 or 2 years. I hope that you've gotten some inspiration, some new ideas to start something new in your life. It could be a business, it could be a career. We didn't go into the details of that لأنه كل زول طريقه براو. لكن إن شاء الله يعني the foundation is the same, which is to have courage, eliminate your fear والوسواس اللي جواكم. Don't be afraid of trying something new, and know that money will come once you deliver something of value. Thank you so much.
I really hate it when people go over time, so I really don't want to go over time, but there's one point that I'm very specific about in the class. Alhamdulillah, for the last 7 years, every 3 months we have a session, and in every single time, the first person to work is usually one of the ladies. Maybe there's one time in 7 years where one of the guys worked first, because we try and focus on all the different things. I was very hurt and offended by the comment that the brother put, not what he said, but the fact that someone made him assume that the woman will not be able to take care of the house, or the kids will not be able to take care of the house, while the woman might actually do a better job than any of us men. So I'm so sorry to add to the time, but if you could just tell us and stress us, even in your company, if you have any Sudanese women working with you, and this is a very professional company, mashallah, as you mentioned, that works with NASA and Bank of America and stuff, or our Sudanese women just good for the kids.
شركتنا فيها 65 نفر, 65 people. 10% of our employees are Sudanese, and من السبعة السودانيين 6 منهم are women, and we have 1 man اللي هو خالد. لكن عندنا مي صفوت, she's one of my senior agile coaches. عندنا زوجة بكري علي لو بتعرفوها, شغالة معنا as a security analyst. عندها اسمها فدوى. عندنا هند اللي هي تخرجت من بشير واشتغلت معنا. She's amazing. She does Azure and cloud and database administration معنا ما شاء الله عليها. عندنا مثلا الأسامي خالد.
انتي وسمر.
أنا وسمر أختي برضو يعني most of us are women. ف definitely don't underestimate your women. وبالمناسبة حتى في السودان next gen, if you actually see الريشيو حق women that are committed and moving the country forward. أنا كان عندي اجتماع الليلة مع السودان next gen ومنظمة اسمها سودت. المنظمة ديك 90% women that are moving it forward. So definitely never underestimate the value and the power of what a woman can do.
Just one last word, Yani. I really want to say, please, Yani, when you hear that, Yani, America is a lot of opportunity, wallahi it is. What we can do here, it's so hard, مثلا, to do في Sudan. Yani, here you can start a business in one day. You can try so many things, and everything is paved, Yani, for us to do good. Yani, you can find a small job that, Yani, give you a real good life for you and your family. But don't waste your time. Don't hesitate. If you want to do a business, do it. Just think about it for a little bit, you know, set up the foundation and do it. You are not going to fail. And if you fail again, we call this a learning experience. You know, it's okay. We go to the next one. But the real failure is not to try or to quit and say, this is not for me. I'm not going to be able to do it. You know, so please just do it.
The last word يعني قبل ما نشكركم يعني في هذا اللقاء الجميل والinspiring بالنسبه حتى الناس اللي بيشاهدونا الان من الاميجرانتس والناس الجايين جداد والاشياء دي. This is like a real true success story. بالنسبه للeducations انا يعني the outcome is
was really very interesting.
From what I heard is يعني ممكن to quote the famous Warren Buffett عنده طبعا say about the education وبتاع قال I just took one course equal to the whole college, the whole 4 years 5 years college. فدي بتديك انطباع انه يعني انت اذا كان ما كملتها او ما عندك full college you can take courses as Khalid said يعني ممكن computer programming, like there's 3-4 months courses they can get you going يعني you don't have to يعني finish the whole thing. Yeah, yes. So and the other thing is to surround yourself with successful people. This is very important. When you come here, surround yourself. This is يعني put 3 lines under this. Surround yourself with successful people. Yes. And the third thing is as you see that يعني ما أي حد بيجي طوالي بينجح يعني دائما خلي الفشل بتاعك ك inspiring you to explore يعني وخلي يكون عندك vision دائما يكون عندك vision لازم يكون عندك خطة عايز تعمل شنو بالضبط وبعدين الميشن to execute that vision يعني فلازم يكون عندك vision يعني ك immigrants للبلد يعني إن شاء الله. شاكرين كل الشكر لأستاذ سالي وأخ خالد على وقتهم الغالي ونصائحهم الغالية جدا للجميع يعني كلنا استفدنا منها. والأخ بشير وعارف يكون عنده آخر the last word as the host. كتر خيركم كثير.
والله ما في حاجة يعني ما في حاجة تزاد أكثر من اللي قالوا الأستاذ خالد الأستاذ سالي. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your presence with us. I know there's a lot of questions and just in the future, we might need to invite you again to kind of fill in the blanks and answer a lot of the questions, especially when a lot of people try to join from Facebook. So we apologize for the miscommunication that happened. And once they watch the video, I know they're going to really need it. You guys have always been there for us. You're inspiration for us. MashaAllah, may Allah grant you always success in everything that you do. Keep doing what you're doing. And a lot of us hopefully are going to follow your footsteps and you know, be bothering you here and there, inshallah. Thank you so much.
شكرا لك انت على اللي انت بتعمله في الcommunity. I was just telling Khalid the other day, there's not many people that I know that have invested in developing a Sudanese community the way that you have, ya Bashir, and the nights and weekends that you spend. Thank you very much for what you do. يعني this is inshallah يكون في ميزان حسناتك لأنك you are changing lives by giving people jobs and new careers and new skills. Thank you for what you do.
Unbelievable والله يا بشر.
ما شاء الله عليك والله ربنا يحفظك. والله it's not easy. So thank you so much. Bye everybody. Have a great rest of the evening. I sent you guys a video called Invest in Sudan. It's very inspirational. Watch that video. It's something that we did just as part of Sudan Next Gen to let people know who is Sudan and why should they invest in Sudan. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Before you log out for everybody else, Khalid and Sally, if you need to, yeah, I think there are, if you need to log out, that's fine. I'm just I'm reposting her video, the link again, and also the one for Sudan Next Gen. If you guys want to find out more about the professional people members, and if you need to join or whatever, for some of us that haven't heard about Sudan Next Gen or about that, so please click on those two links and share them as much as you can. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, bye, guys.